good evening and thank you for joining us on News 360. It is live from Adisawe in Kanda, Accra. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Noble Crosby Annan. Top of the bulletin tonight.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Security analyst Emmanuel Kutin describes Ghana's presidential jet as a flying coffin.
Also in the bulletin tonight, Interior Minister shows government working to ensure passage of a draft national arms bill into law to regulate proliferation of small arms and light weapons.
Later, we'll tell you the struggles of pupils in their quest for education at Laoshima MA Basic School in the Volta region.
And before we go tonight, to bring you some international news, as President Donald Trump announces that the European Union and Mexico will face a 30% tariff on imports to the U.S. from August 1.
Well, live on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, all across the world, on 3news.com. Do join us.
Let's start the bulletin from here, shall we? A security analyst, Emmanuel Kutin, has described Ghana's presidential jet as a flying coffin. His comment follows a briefing to Parliament on Friday by the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, who revealed that the Falcon 900EX has severe corrosion on some parts. While speaking on the key point, Emmanuel Kutin said the current state of the aircraft makes it a security risk for anyone who uses it.
In either jurisdiction, they will ground this aircraft immediately. They will ground this aircraft. Look, you see, look, national security should take certain things serious. When we write about some of these things, they don't take us serious. Politicking in this country is not taking us anywhere. And when it comes to issues of national security, I will beg that we rally behind as a country, because if we get a new aircraft today, it's not only John Dramani Mahama who is going to use it. When he exits, someone will come. It will be at the behest of whoever become our next president. How do you even know if Emmanuel Kutin will not be the next president of Ghana? Do you know the doings of the Lord?
Certainly not.
So let's have a national conversation on this thing. And to me, it's not but or if. We need a new presidential jet for this country.
Well, but is the presidential jet really beyond saving? Let's get some expert opinions on this and speak with Colonel Festus Obwaje. He's a security analyst. Colonel, thank you so much for joining us on the program. My first question to you will be, how common is severe corrosion in an aircraft of this age and usage?
Well, thanks for having me. Technically, if you want answers to this question, then you should speak to people who have technical expertise about aircraft maintenance, and that would be either civil aviation or some of our retired officers from the Ghana Air Force. But if I speak generally about modern technologies, including some of the modern cars that we use, the sort of things that the minister described are quite serious. Because if they happen to be affecting anyone who has it using, every now and then the vehicle will grind to a halt because of the severe nature of the corrosion in some of the parts that feed fuel and so on into the engine. So I have no reason to doubt that the minister was telling us the truth. In any case, the aircraft is not available in Ghana. And according to him, it's been there since March, I suppose. You know, but that is not the issue. You see, the fundamental issue in the debate is probably what the gentleman who preceded me was alluding to. It's about, one, whether we should have a presidential jet or not. And two, when the presidential jet is not available, what modes of transportation, especially air transportation, should our presidents use? That is the kind of debate that we should be having. You see, it is not at all about whether the aircraft can fly or not, because it's been there in March, it couldn't be released or certified to fly, and it's continued to be there. We are now in July because of the severe nature of the, technical issues that the plane has.
I see. Keno, so let's talk about this, the security implications of the president or anybody else traveling in this aircraft that has been described as a flying coffin. What kind of security implications does Ghana's president have as he attempts to use this aircraft?
We mean by security implications. Even when traveling with a presidential flight or on land when dignitaries travel in some of these executive vehicles and so on, there are still security risks. The mere fact that you are identified with a special type of means of travel could make you a target. But I think the way I understand your question is, if the aircraft is not airworthy, then anybody who used that aircraft, more so the president, stands a higher risk of being involved in some kind of air incident, would have very severe repercussions for our national security. So until the aircraft is certified to fly, we should be looking for other means of transportation by air for the president. Now, this brings me to points that I have made previously. And let me express some respect for the analogy that I'm going to make.
Right.
The late Queen Elizabeth II, during her reign, is on record to have used commercial flights at certain junctures of her tenure. She used the British Overseas Airways Corporation aircraft. She used the British Airways. And then on other occasions, she used the Royal Air Force aircraft, which would be equivalent to, what we call a presidential jet. Then I've also said that in 1999, when the late former President Rawlings returned the visit of President Clinton and went to Washington, I was privileged to have traveled with him. At the time, Ghana Airways was, in the air. So we went by Ghana Airways.
Right.
And I have said that the fact that late President Rawlings flew by Ghana Airways didn't take anything from the dignified nature of his presidency. So, for me, it's a non-issue for anybody to suggest that all presidents of Ghana must travel in a presidential jet. Personally, I don't buy into that debate.
I see.
Especially if we look at our economic circumstances. So, let's assume in September, all presidents head to New York to attend the UN annual summit. Not every president flies to New York in a presidential jet.
Right.
Some of them, I don't know how many, travel there in commercial flights. You see what I mean? And normally when they are there, they have other programs. So it's very possible for a president of Ghana to leave Accra by are any of these commercial flights that are available, whether it is KLM or whether it is Ethiopian Airways or Kenyan Airways or whichever airline, if you flew through London, you could have a stopover there and do some business, break the journey, and go to New York and do some business and return.
Right. Thank you.
It's all about planning the itinerary of the president based on the mode of transport that is available. Let me end by saying that
Abuaje. Right.
In the not too long ago, precisely during the administration of President Nana, we had a very strenuous debate as to whether he should be flying chartered flights or whatever it is. We are all conversant with that debate. So, my personal view is that the fact that a presidential jet is not available, it is not sufficient justification. But for me, it's not a logical argument or conclusion that then the president must fly in a chartered flight.
Right. Thank
you. Because
the
assumptions that are involved in drawing the conclusion that in the absence of a presidential jet, a president must fly in a chartered flight.
Right.
That argument is not valid.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You see what?
Thank you so much, Colonel Retired Festus Abuaje, for speaking with us. He's a security analyst sharing his thought on that development there. Let's do some other stories tonight.
Meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has arrived in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, ahead of the 7th African Union mid-year coordination meeting between the AU and Regional Economic Community scheduled for Sunday, July 13, 2025. The mid-year coordination meeting was conceptualized in 2017 as the principal forum for the AU and regional economic communities. It is meant to align their work and coordinate the implementation of the Continental Integration Agenda, replacing the June-July summits. The meeting will be preceded by the 47th Ordinary Session of the Executive Council, which will take place from the 10th to 11th of July 2025. The meeting will be convened under the AU theme of the year 2025, Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations.
Now to some other stories tonight. Ghana's 24-hour economic policy is set to revolutionize the nation's growth trajectory. But are government agencies truly embracing the change? In the first of two-part series, my colleague Judith Brown, she hit the street of Accra to find out more.
In the thick of the night, long after the sun has set, a new economy begins. One that allows workers to earn their keep, even while many others sleep. The 24-hour economy policy seeks to boost Ghana's economic growth by encouraging round-the-clock activities and services. With an estimated cost of 4 billion cedis, the initiative aims to enhance productivity, generate employment opportunities, and stimulate economic growth by optimizing resource utilization and infrastructure.
The 24H+ agenda is not simply about extending working hours. It is about unleashing productivity, expanding opportunity, accelerating exports through well-structured, multi-sectoral and inclusive interventions.
Before the official launch of the policy, several government agencies claimed to have already begun operating around the clock. But are they truly living up to their promise? The team went digging. But first, let's put Accra's night transportation to the test.
It's currently 12 a.m. in the morning, and today I'm posing as an average Ghanaian worker who needs to pick a bus, what we know as a trotro, before I get to work. And so I'm going to be crossing the street, and opposite me right now is the main Ashaman station. I see just a few cars. I saw one car leave just a few moments ago. It seems to be the last car. From here, we're going to be moving to specific government agencies who have already started rolling out the 24-hour economy policy. And let's see really if work has begun at this time of the night. Come along.
Our first stop was the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, which kicked off its 4-hour service on May 7, 2025.
We divided the workers into 3 groups. One begins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., then from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., from 10 p.m. to the next day, 6 a.m. From what we did at Tema Port to Takrady Port and our office in Adenta, in the first quarter, we were able to increase revenue by 53% as compared to 2024. And we've done 396 contract staff recruitment already.
So I'm currently at the DVLA office right here in Adenta. This is one of the main stations that run 24-hour service right here. And so I'm going to walk in now and then speak to the team as to really what services you can get here if you're a client coming to DVLA.
At 1 a.m. in the morning, a team of 6 was seated at post ready to serve any client.
You can renew your license, replace your license, request for amendment or change on the license, do an international license, you do conversion of your foreign license, you can register your motorbike, tricycle or vehicle, or any other service that DVLA offers. We do it here.
Our next destination was the Ghana Publishing Company, which started operating a 24-hour service on March 3rd. Per checks, the night shift was actively working as at 2 a.m. in the morning.
For the administrative staff, we started with a shift that allows some of the staff to come at 7:30 and close at 4:30, whilst the others come at 10 and they close at 7. So within the peak period of 10 to 4:30, you have the full power force of the office. We have staff working from 7:30 to 4:30. They close for 3 hours for the machines to be serviced and premises to be cleaned. And another shift starts at 7:30, that closes in the morning at 5.
CEO of the company, Kwesi Boete, explains productivity has increased significantly.
When we started, the Gazette took 8 weeks. If you applied, it was going to take 8 weeks to get your Gazette. Now, if you apply, you get it in a minimum of 3 weeks. We had a premium service that took 7 days to get it. Now we reduced that time to 3 days. I dare say that the records show that we are actually even more efficient in terms of production at night than during the day.
Our next report takes a closer look at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, where operations continue 24 hours a day, driving productivity and economic growth. We'll take you live to the heart of the action. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Away from that report, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly will this evening close 2 major roads in the Central Business District to vehicular traffic to allow for urgent repair works. The rehabilitation exercise will focus on Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, particularly the stretch around the U-turn near the Lava Mall and Derby Avenue. These works have become necessary due to the continuous deteriorating condition of the roads, which has been contributing to severe vehicular congestion in the area. According to the Assembly, Metropolitan engineers are working in collaboration with the police to ensure that alternative routes are clearly designated for both motorists and pedestrians during the period of the roadworks. Joining me via phone for more on this development is Gilbert Nyankra, Public Relations Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us on News 360.
Thank you very much for having me on behalf of the Mayor. Good evening to your cherished viewers, Ayisha.
So tell us exactly what prompted the sudden closure of these roads.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, the Mayor, as part of the decongestion exercise, has been periodically visiting the Central Business District to look at progress of work to ensure that whether there are some level of compliance. So as part of the usual movement, he observed that that particular stretch of the entire Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, there are some potholes within those areas, and it demanded immediate action. So quickly, the mayor had to instruct that the Urban Roads Department of the Assembly moves in to do the works this evening and tomorrow, so that at least from Monday, motorists will have some smooth surface to be able to move within the central business district. And just as we said, this will go a long way to ensure that there is a free flow of traffic. So it is based on this premise that we're moving into ensure that this work is done, and the mayor has instructed that it's done. Currently, as I speak to you now, our engineers are on the ground, and very soon work will begin.
So the road is expected to be ready for use by Monday?
Exactly. It's expected to be ready for use by Monday. Looking at the activities within the central business district, the closure, just as we said, commences this evening 8 p.m. And by tomorrow noon, we'll be done with the work. So at least from Monday morning, the place will be very, very quite smooth to ensure that the vehicles move smoothly within the city center.
Mr. Ankara, you know that a lot of people use that area a lot. So what alternative routes have been arranged for motorists and pedestrians in the interim?
Okay, thank you for that one. Let me state that the Assembly is not embarking on this very exercise alone. There is a close collaboration with the police. During monitoring today, for instance, we had the police asked to look at alternative routes. And if you look at that particular enclave, so when you are coming from the Katamanto area, the police will be there to divert traffic through the China lane and straight to Watu, so they can connect from that side and then move back to wherever they want to do. But let me state that the police will be on the grounds to ensure that there is that direction of traffic, so that at least drivers will know where exactly they should be using.
Thank you for this details this evening on News 360, Mr. Ankara. I hope we've all taken note of the streets involved. Mr. Ankara is the PRO of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
Well, from traffic flow to legislative growth, a notable shift is taking place in Ghana's parliament as first-time members. They are stepping up and actively participating in the legislative process. Their growing involvement has drawn commendation from both colleagues and parliamentary leadership, with both deputy speakers calling for support and enhanced capacity building for them. Christian Yali has more here.
Throughout the consideration of the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill 2025, members of Parliament and especially first-time MPs like the Afajeto South MP Frank Efriye, as well as the Walewale MP Dr. Abdul Tia Kabiru Mahama and the Wejagbawe MP Ahmed Shaib have all been instrumental in the legislative process, contributing to the shaping of that bill. After proceedings on Saturday, the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Amwakwe-Siama, expressed satisfaction with the enthusiasm and commitment shown by MPs in shaping laws and the impact that has on the nation. According to him, it is a significant shift in Ghana's democratic gain as first-time members of Parliament are increasingly participating in the legislative drafting processes.
I am elated to see such a number in the chamber taking part in lawmaking consideration. What even makes me more elated today is that you see that most of us are freshers, first-timers, and they are actively taking part in the lawmaking. I think we need to commend ourselves and urge them to do more.
The first Deputy Speaker and other leaders of the House agreed with this move to enhance the capacity of members of Parliament, especially first-timers who show interest in the legislative drafting.
The number of the first-timers that I have seen from both sides taking part in the legislative process is very, very, very encouraging. We should keep it up. All the first-timers that show interest in the legislative work must be supported so that we can unearth their talent.
This is all that we are all asking for. Taking interest in the business of the house and participating in it. This is what your constituents will see. Like Speaker said, all the efforts to go for re-election may be achieved with your diligence and industry displayed during this phases of this matter.
Yesterday, all our members who stayed on were all first-time members. All of them were first-time members of Parliament, and it's very encouraging. Let's make a dedicated effort to train members of Parliament, especially in legislative drafting. I think it shouldn't just be by the way, where occasionally we get capacity building programs and then one or two attend. Let it be a dedicated one.
The call to enhance the effectiveness of first-timers as well as the continuous training of members of Parliament is one that reflects a strong commitment to good governance and excellence in the legislative process, which is the core duty of the members of Parliament. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
Let's now take you back to yesterday's election rerun in Ablekuma North. A violent clash marred what was expected to be a peaceful rerun of the parliamentary elections at Ablekuma North. The Odoko Methodist Church, one of the 19 designated polling stations, became the epicenter of chaos as tensions between political party supporters erupted into physical confrontation. Stanley Niblo chronicles the disturbing events in the following report.
Odoko Methodist Church hosted one of the 19 polling stations for the rerun of the Ablekuma North parliamentary election. But even before polls opened, tensions were high. Citing security concerns from the December 7 elections, church authorities initially declined to allow the Electoral Commission to use the premises. It took the intervention of the EC officials from the headquarters to get the process underway under a heavy police presence. However, what began as a peaceful process quickly took a violent turn. Supporters of the two leading political parties clashed at a nearby Gulf War station. The confrontation reportedly started when an NDC supporter ordered NPP loyalists who had accompanied Hawa Kumsin and the parliamentary candidate Nana Ekwe to vacate the area. A response from the NPP supporters triggered an altercation. NPP MP for Ekwapim North, Samia Uku accused the NDC of intimidation.
I told the announcement officer that I've seen large-scale intimidation, and then perhaps you've also seen that a whole number of young NPP people too are also massing up here. So it's going to be a game of equal.
Shortly after, Nana Ekwe requested for reinforcement of party boys at the polling station in a phone conversation.
We need more men. We need men.
The already volatile situation worsened when the white pickup truck carrying tags arrived at the polling station. They first physically assaulted a man believed to be their target. They proceeded to overpower the police stationed at the gate, forcing their way into the inner perimeter. The police, despite their numbers, were unable to control the chaos. Former Ewutu Senya East MP Mavis Hawa Kumsin, who was observing the process, also became a victim. Though she carried what looks like pepper spray, she was unable to defend herself in time. She was eventually rescued by the police, but the violence continued. Electoral Commission officials also fled for safety. At the gate, a deputy NPP youth organizer attempting to gain access to the inner perimeter, upon hearing of Hawa Kumsin's assault, was confronted by visibly angry thugs. A scuffle ensued, resulting in a brutal attack when he attempted fleeing for safety. As the violence intensified, a Joy News journalist identified as Sally was also attacked, One of the perpetrators who started the assault later returned to apologize to the journalist, but her colleagues rejected the apology.
Let him go. It is impossible. Let him go.
The tag attempted to justify the assault on Hawa Kunsin.
She had been here for a long time, but we didn't know until she instigated an assault on one of our colleagues.
The violent disruption halted the electoral process for more than 2 hours. Similar incidents were reported at other polling stations, where GH1 journalist was slapped by a police officer who has since been interdicted by the Ghana Police Service. The events at the Ablekuma North election rerun highlight a worrying trend of political intolerance, lawlessness, and inadequate crowd control at polling centers. Despite the presence of security personnel, political thuggery overshadowed the democratic process. With multiple assaults on civilians, politicians, and journalists, stakeholders are now demanding urgent reforms, stronger enforcement of electoral security protocols, and accountability for perpetrators of electoral violence to restore the public confidence in Ghana's democratic process. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Ablekuma North, Accra.
Meanwhile, some members of parliament, they've condemned the violent and chaotic scenes that characterized the Ablekuma North election rerun on Friday. They have called for effective electoral reforms to strengthen the country's democracy.
I wouldn't say it's a good thing. And sometimes when elections are happening or when we go into the polls, there are people who I'd say would just go to the extreme to make sure that whether their person wins or if, especially when they say their person is losing, so they will do anything to get in there to cause problems. It doesn't mean it's right. Moving forward, I think we should be able to check ourselves and then contain these things, have patience, and not cause troubles when it comes to elections. Because I believe that with Ghana, a lot of African countries look up to us when it comes to some of these things. So we should just be careful moving forward.
At least there are a lot of good takeaways from yesterday. And the first one is that we did not have a representation in Parliament. For 6 months we've been here. They have not had anybody to represent them, which is unfortunate. And I'm happy that we've brought closure to it. I want to condemn the assault on the former Member of Parliament, Hawa Kunsin, and Minister. I want to condemn the assault on the media. These are unacceptable for a democracy that is 32 years thereabout. And I think that utterances like that of the minority leader doesn't help. Pointing accusing fingers. He's the same person who says that tit for tat, do me, I do you, is not the way we should be going. And so if something like this has happened, the least we expect of a leader of his kind is quickly assigning blame. We should allow the security agencies to work. I am hopeful that under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Election Security Task Force, when they investigate this thoroughly, anybody that is found culpable should be punished. We should not say it was done then, we should do the same thing now.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service is assuring action for the perpetrators of the violence that marred the Ablekuma North election rerun. In a statement signed by Ms. Juliana Obeng, the head of public relations or public affairs at the Accra Regional Police Command, the statement says the regional command is taking steps to identify perpetrators and anyone found to have engaged in acts of violence, intimidation, or breach of the peace, and they will be arrested and taken through due process of law. Preliminary report indicates that these incidents caused temporary disruptions to the otherwise peaceful conduct of the election in some polling stations. Police officers intervened promptly to assure and restore calm and ensure voting continued without further interruptions. Now, it ends by saying that the Accra Regional Police Command wishes to encourage anyone with information on the persons involved in these incidents to contact the police through the police emergency numbers to assist with ongoing investigations.
We're now going to the Volta region as one of only 2 communities with a school in the entire electoral area, Laoshime serves as a beacon of hope to children with educational aspirations. Every morning, children from surrounding communities, including Mamime, Hagoji, and Songbe, walk from their homes to the Laoshime MA Basic School, but the journey is fraught with frustration and danger. To get to school, they have to navigate treacherous, muddy floodwaters, often above knee-high, leaving their uniforms and books drenched.
Laoshime MA Basic School is one of only 2 schools in the entire Laoshime electoral area, serving as a beacon of hope for children with educational aspirations. Every morning, school children from Mamime, Hagoji, and Songbe walk to the school, but that journey is fraught with frustration and danger. To get to school, they have to navigate treacherous, muddy floodwaters, often above knee-high, leaving their uniforms and books drenched.
Our books get wet and our uniforms get wet. And after reaching school, we feel tired. We can't concentrate on our books. As we are at school, when we are learning, we get to our thinking that we will pass through this process again well as we close.
I carry my younger brother on my neck every day because he can't walk through the floodwaters. And now I feel pain in every part of my body.
The situation here is not just a matter of school children struggling to have access to education, but the conditions prevalent here also pose so much threat and risk to their lives. School authorities are telling me that in the mornings and particularly after school, they would have to position themselves at strategic points to ensure that they do not fall and drown, because some part of this water is as deep as 5 feet, and that can be so dangerous to children of this age.
In the mornings like this, we have to come down here and ensure that the children will help them to cross. Otherwise, something might happen to them if we don't come. At times, it makes them get to the school lately. Even myself, at times I have to get home lately, take bath, and then come and continue with the school activities.
Perennial floods have become a common phenomenon across all 7 communities in the area, blocking pathways and access routes for residents. The consequences are devastating and it's deep into every aspect of their daily lives.
I'm on my knees for the government to listen to our plight and come to our aid.
What exactly do you want government to do for you?
They should construct road from Atogodo to Trekuma or Mana and construct another one from Atiadi to Tefagodo.
For young ones, the floodwaters pose a huge barrier to their educational dreams.
The children find it difficult to attend school regularly. Therefore, their performance also is very bad when they go to BEC exams. Most especially, I have about 250 students, but when it happens or it occurs, enrollment decreases.
But how soon will help come their way?
In the long term, we hope to lobby for assistance from the central government for the river there to be dredged so that it will have enough space to hold the water whenever it is. Also, we would like to construct a bridge over that river and have a road constructed to the communities.
The struggles these children go through in accessing formal education is a clear manifestation of what most children in rural Ghana go through, creating a huge gap in achieving improved learning outcomes and meeting key targets of the Sustainable Development Goal 4. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News.
Well, and it's a similar story at Aurano. Imagine being fully dressed for school only to find yourself forced to take off your shoes or seek help from motorcycle riders to cross a road completely submerged in water on your way to school. This is the reality for pupils and residents of Aurano in the Ablekuma North district of the Bono East region. Correspondent Belinda Tete has more here.
Following a heavy downpour, residents of Aurano were stranded due to the sole road being submerged in water. Pupils, fully dressed for school, were forced to either remove their shoes or seek assistance from motorcycle riders, passers-by or school vehicle to cross to the other side. Fortunately, most received help. This distressing scene highlights the urgent need for action. One student, anxious about being late for her first lesson, urged government to intervene. We suffer to get to school whenever it rains, so we'll plead that government comes to our aid. Our road is terrible, and it has been like this from since I was a child. So we'll plead that government comes to our aid, because it's really affecting our day-to-day movement. The deplorable road condition has persisted for years, causing daily delays, especially when it rains. Apia Shadrach, a teacher, lamented about the situation, stressing that crossing the road becomes a significant challenge.
I teach at the Mini Educational Complex, right at around here. But looking at the situation this morning, it is quite very difficult for me to go to the school. Meanwhile, my director has been calling me for minutes to come because some of the children are around. But as we can see, the road is very, very bad. So we are urging the ministers, the president, and anyone who can help to help us with the road because it's not good at all.
Some residents echoed these concerns, noting that for years they have agitated and appealed to successive governments, but their pleas have fallen on deaf ears.
This has been our problem for some years now. We have appealed to various governments, but it's like all of our efforts have been in vain. Governments have always promised us that there will be a big construction here, but for some time now, we've not seen anything yet, and this has been a problem for several years. It's our hope that this administration will do something about this road. This is a rainy season. If they could look at this video and then treat this as an emergency, because we can see students being stranded here.
We've made several complaints to our leaders, but nothing has been done, especially when it rains. It's really bad. And with the students, whenever it rains, they have to seek help from motorcycles or tricycles before they can cross. That's how terrible the situation here is.
And in the Upper East Region, Regional Minister Donatus Agamugri Atanga has assured farmers of government's commitment to addressing the challenges facing the irrigation company of the region with the aim of boosting food crop production. Speaking during a visit to the tunnel and irrigation scheme, the minister said efforts are underway to attract investor support to revitalize the company's operations. Our Upper East Regional correspondent, Castro Senela, was there and has filed this report. We'll give you that story later. Let's bring you this one instead. Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed says that proliferation of small arms remains a major security challenge, not only in Ghana, but across West Africa, and has vowed to deal with the situation. He has assured the public of the passage of a new law aimed at tackling the proliferation of small arms.
According to statistics from the Ghana Police Service, 80% of weapons retrieved at crime scenes are locally manufactured. Further data indicates that there are approximately 95,000 illegally produced weapons in circulation in Ghana. The police service attributes a significant number of armed robberies, murders, rapes and other violent crimes to the availability of illegal weapons. As of 2024, figures from the National Commission of Small Arms and Light Weapons revealed that of the 2.3 million small and light weapons in circulation, some 1.1 million cannot be adequately traced or documented. According to Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, efforts are underway to ensure the passage of a draft national arms bill into law.
In recent times, our nation has witnessed an alarming surge in gun-related incidents involving unlawful display and misuse of firearms during traditional celebration, funerals, other social gatherings which have resulted in needless loss of lives. These disturbing occurrences point to a dangerous trend which is use of small arms in our society.
The minister emphasized the need for Ghana's legal and policy frameworks to evolve to address the changing dynamics of small arms proliferation and illicit transfers.
Let me take this opportunity to reaffirm the ministry's commitment to pass the draft national arms bills into law to ensure effective arms control in our society.
At the inauguration of the board of the National of the ministry's commitment to enforcing law and order in conflict-prone areas, a member of the board and executive secretary, Dr. Adam Bona, warned against the use of unauthorized arms during festive seasons.
It is sad that something that we have done over the years, over centuries, celebratory shootings, is now leading to needless deaths. Probably we would have to start looking at banning, the firing of this.
Now, after a pause due to the COVID-19 pandemic, SME Ghana has officially relaunched its SME GHA Award scheme under the theme Sustaining Ghana SMEs in a Globally Competitive Market. The 2024 edition ushers in a new era of recognition, growth, support, and celebration of innovation among local businesses.
Since inception in 2013, the Small and Medium Enterprises Ghana Awards has stood as a premium benchmark of credibility and consistency in excellence among small and medium-sized enterprises. With a data-driven, independently verified process, the scheme has earned a reputation as the apex platform of trust in Ghana's SME ecosystem.
We're going to go through the roadmap of the processes where business files shortlisted, and then the field assessment continues. They come for the interviews, and when we're able to pick them, like we bring in more experts from PUM, Netherlands. We're bringing other investors from the Indian community. The focus is that we need to grow our SMEs. We need to let them see beyond our market and even look into the other closed market that we have.
At the official launch, Chief Enterprise Business Officer of MTN Ghana, Angela Mensah-Poku, praised the initiative.
An initiative that has been long in the making and is very, very close to our hearts. Today, we are joined here by a truly diverse group of stakeholders, united by one message: SMEs deserve our recognition, our investment, and our collective commitment, not just here, but across the globe.
Also speaking at the event, Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Enterprises Agency, Margaret Ansie, commended the relaunch as a timely and strategic move to spotlight the vital role of SMEs in national development. The awards identify and celebrate SMEs based on an array of quantitative and qualitative criteria. Nominations for the 2024 SME Ghana Awards officially open on July 10, 2025 and close on August 15, 2025. Small and medium-sized enterprises as well as individual entrepreneurs across the country are encouraged to submit their entries via www.smeghanaawards.com.
News360 returns with more stories after this break. Please stay with us.
Why are more and more professionals choosing flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look.
trying to win more trophies, more important trophies. And tomorrow we have the last chance, the last match to win the World Cup clubs. Yeah, we are looking forward to playing that match and trying to rest a little bit.
I agree with most of the people that they say that they are the best team in Europe, the best team in the world. And the reason why is because they are showing this. They show in France, they show in the Champions League, they are showing in this competition. We have maximum respect for them. I said in my last press conference that I really enjoy watching them. But at the same time, we're gonna try. We are here to try to do our best and to win the final.
Let's move to the world of tennis, where Iga Swiatek demolished Amanda Anisimova. That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Billy Shed. Entertainment is up next.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil, powered by 3 Entertainment.
In entertainment news this evening, Ghanaian music duo Dope Nation are expected to thrill patrons at the 2025 Ghana Party in the Park in London with back-to-back hits. The Boza Headmakers hope to use the occasion to project and celebrate Ghanaian culture. Speaking to Media General's head of entertainment, Giovanni Caleb, the group also opened up about their newly released album, Ghana Piano.
Right, so congrats on the big one.
Thank you so much.
Ghana Piano album. This is your what? Second, third?
Third album.
Third album already.
Yes, sir.
How did it go?
Yeah, you know.
Anyway, so first off, how do you feel about the album? What's the feeling like for you right now?
It's nice. You know, third album, over 13 million streams. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, all the songs on there are danceable. It's giving more presence to the dance community as well as our genre, you know, Ghana Piano, and we are pushing it with like hard force.
I love that. All right, and also you guys be in the UK for the very first time for the Ghana Party Pack. You be here on separate projects, but this is your very first time mounting the stage for the changing edition of the Ghana Party Pack. How's it feeling like?
We've actually been wanting to perform, you know, at the Party in the Park. This is our first time. I don't know whether I should say it's unfortunate or it's fortunate, but then yeah, this is where it has gotten us to. So we are looking forward to it.
And about the energy to expect for the fans out here?
I mean, we are only looking out for trying to project the Ghanaian culture here. So we as Ghanaians here, we want to let people know that okay, this is what we have. So we are here to have fun. Yeah, we are not here to prove something. Yeah, we are just here to have fun with our Ghanaian.
I love that. Big kudos going out to Aquaba UK and of course TV3 for the media partnership. And this is where all the action is at. We have more coming up for you right here on the next one.
Give me that steez. Give me that steez. Give me composure. What money can do.
Also, renowned rapper and CEO of Volta Regime Music Group, Edem, has condemned the violence that erupted during the Ablekuma North Parliamentary rerun. Taking to his X-handle, the acclaimed rapper addressed some pockets of violence, including the assault of some journalists and politicians at some polling centers. Edem is of the opinion that despite similar incidents occurring in previous elections under a different government, such should not happen under this current government. Quote, "Two wrongs don't make a right. If you know better, you must do better. Violence is a no-no," he shared. The rapper's comments come in the wake of disturbing attacks captured during the July rerun.
I'll bring you some news outside the Ghanaian border.
President Donald Trump has announced that the European Union and Mexico will face a 30% tariff on imports to the U.S. from 1st August. He warned he would impose even higher import taxes if either of the U.S. trading partners decided to retaliate. The 27-member EU, America's biggest trading partner, said earlier this week it hoped to agree a deal with Washington before 1st August. According to the Office of the U.S. Trade Representatives, in 2024, the U.S. trade deficit with the bloc was $235.6 billion. Trump has this week also said the U.S. will impose new tariffs on goods from Japan, South Korea, Canada, and Brazil, also starting from 1st August. Similar letters were sent this week to a number of smaller U.S. trade partners.
There's more international news on 3news.com. That's all from us this evening. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Noble Crosby Annan. Thank you so much for spending your hour with us. Stay with us and enjoy the rest of our programs. Good evening. Bye-bye.